Recently, I've took out my old book here about Tai Chi. I've got many, but this particular one I like because it has the Tai Chi classics in English as well as in the Chinese original. And so this is an old book. You can see the pages are all yellow and so on. But like I say, I like the classics because they explain certain things about Tai Chi. And when we do, we're going to bring this to the Monday class, and I will scan the pages for you, and we can study it together. Now the classics, there are a few. The classics, the treatises, and some so-called secrets, right, written by the masters. When we go through this in a book form, we will just take a few minutes to do that each class. We go through the theory behind it, and then you can ask and understand deeper about Tai Chi. The structure is that often when we have a class, I ask you any questions, and there's not much unless it's about the form and so on. Yeah? So there's not much other questions because you don't know what to ask. But when we read a book together and you read it ahead of time, then there are certain things you can just question. So when we ask the questions, when you ask the questions, I can answer them again and go deeper into it. So in that way, this is what we're going to bring new into our Monday classes. So with Tai Chi, it is not a matter of just spending more time, like 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, or whatever it is, that you progress in your art. While you do progress in many regards, but there are still finer points that unless someone takes you there, you are on a plateau. You're on a plateau, and you cannot reach the heights, the mountain heights, or you cannot reach the next level. So some of these involves the classics, and it involves the application of energy, the application of the forms. Yeah. We're not training to be fighters. We're training to understand the art better, to take out the salient points. So what do I mean by this, Now, so there is actual use for tension and actual use for relaxation and softness. So when we are practicing Tai Chi on a one person, a solo practice, there is no test for you. You say you relax and nobody can argue. We can just say, oh no, you don't look relaxed, or this is a bit stiff. But there's no real test. You won't even know yourself. But when we talk about applications then, and flowing the chi properly to the arms, to the fingers and so on, then the proper relaxation must be there. And yet relaxation has got a finer point between relaxation and tension. So that's an area where you want to have some clarity, and that's what we cover to understand more about these levels. We will go also deeper into breathing, right? Something so basic as breathing. And in particular, the connection between the breath and the chi, development of the chi, and the energy flow, the pathway for the energy flows, how we must know what they are. And having known where they are, how do you lead them through it? Are there stages, or can you jump straight to the end? And of course there are stages. So what are these intermediate stages to take you to a full energy flow within your body, a free flow of energy within your body? And talking about the next levels of Tai Chi, there is something what we call a dual person practice, and it's called Tui Shou, or push hands. And of course, push hands will finally need a partner to practice with. But before we go to that stage, we can also practice the basic moves of the Tui Shou on your own. Yeah. So we will have a chopstick practice. We will have all the other movements and memorization of those movements, so that it is a basic to take you further up your Tai Chi journey. Now, talking about vocabulary that I spoke about earlier on, there is a new vocabulary that we haven't touched on until we reach these levels. And that is about sticking, about adhering, about following, about non-resistant, and about yielding, grounding, and all that, grounding the opponent's energy, right? And rebounding, yeah? Rebounding the energy back. So these can be practiced on a solo basis, but need to be understood in terms of its application, all right? And when you have a consciousness or an awareness about its application, then your awareness or your consciousness or your knowledge about the movements and the nuances of the movements are there, because in your imagination there is someone pressing you, there's someone coming, or you're pushing against something. So that difference is a world of difference. So similarly in Tai Chi, there is a martial and a civil. So the civil one is what we play for good health, and that's the major one. But the martial aspect, we can be a martial civil. Huh? The martial aspect brings about this other one that raises our awareness about overcoming hardness with softness. And that's mind-blowing, because you talk about Tai Chi and you talk about overcoming anything, what can you overcome? Well, that's actually the true power of Tai Chi. You can overcome through its mechanism of yielding, non-resistance, acceptance. So these qualities we're going to explore more about, and then how it turns from accepting to then giving back. Yeah. That within yin there's a yang, and within yang there's a yin. That means within strength there's a weakness. When opponent comes, he's strong, but within that strength he has a weakness and I have a strength. So it is that interplay. One of the famous sayings in the classics that Tai Chi now has become well known for is the saying that 4 ounces deflect 1,000 pounds. Of course, this is the imperial system. Yeah, in Chinese it's called 4两拨千斤. 4 ounces deflect 1,000 pounds. So in the Tai Chi terminology that we will also cover in the first few weeks, it's also about leading. So we do not force something, we lead. We lead the energy, we accept and we lead. So in these topics we will talk about intention and the mind intent, and through that we will lead our energy to extend to our limbs, to our fingers and beyond, because to the partner or to the opponent, finding the weak spots. So this mental projection is particular to Tai Chi. As a contrast about Tai Chi, it is different from the external school, Tai Chi being an internal school. In the external schools, if you talk about martial arts, you're talking about speed, strength, courage, accuracy. But in Tai Chi, these are not the important words. These are not the important concepts. So our concepts is about sensitivity, lightness, agility, sensing, even emptiness. Yeah. So these are the very aspects that make Tai Chi unique. These are the principles of softness, of emptiness, in a world that places a lot of emphasis on solidity, on doing things. Tai Chi is that balance of doing and non-doing, of being there and being not there, not being there. Suddenly I'm there, suddenly I'm not there. It's the change of it, the interchangeability. So these are the higher qualities that we will learn and talk about.